Hello and welcome back. In the last video, we tried to understand one of the key feature of Java, which is platform independent. Java is an platform independent programming language. We call it as VORA, a portable programming language. Why it is, we try to understand. Now, one more important feature of Java is it is an object-oriented programming language. Now, what is object-oriented programming language? What is class, memory maps, all the concepts such as constructors, object creation, methods, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, we will understand going forward along with the memory map. Now, to start the journey, by considering the absolute beginners, I would like to specify what is the style of programming we have to follow if we are following or if you are learning object-oriented programming language. Fine. Now, in this video, fundamentally you'll understand what do we mean by object-oriented programming language. What is the style of programming we have to follow. Going forward, in depth we'll understand about the same with memory maps also and all the key important features. Now, to start with, if you want to write the code in an object-oriented programming language, for whatever purpose you have to write the code, you have to identify the object. Consider the whole world as a collection of objects. Everything as an object, whether it is a student object, teacher object, laptop object, mic object, camera object, bus object, building object, everything as an object. For an instance, I want to write the code for a student. Please see here how easy it is to write the program if you follow object-oriented programming style. Now, I want to write a program for a student. Identify the object first. Maybe I have identified student as an object and I want to write the code about the student. First part, object is identified. Second part, just write what all features student has. Then what all features student does, what all activities students carry out. So I'll say here has part and the does part. Student has the ID card. Student has the name, student has the age, so on. And what all activity student does, maybe student study, right? Student maybe play sports or whatever you want, fine. So on, so what all activity student does. Now, we have to write a program for this object which we have identified. We have identified the object, we have listed out has part, we have listed out what all activity that particular object or a student does. In our case, it is student. Now, in object-oriented programming language, first you may have to write the class blueprint of whatever object you have identified here. Now, for this same, if I have to write the program, you have to start with class. And since I am writing this for the student, I will write here class student. Fine. Now, we have to first write the has part. Student has the ID, it has the name, it has the age, fine. And the type of the data, maybe I'll say here integer, string. If you are absolute beginner, don't worry about this, we will understand about this. So I'll say here integer. Then the does part, to manage what and all activities we have. Now we have the concept of functions. In Java, we call it as method. I will write here void study. Now, how to write the methods in depth going forward, I'm going to guide you. So you need not to worry on that. So activity I have read. So class, then you have to take care of has part using the concept of variables and data types. We will understand what is a variable, what is the need of data type, what is a data type, what data type Java supports, we will understand that. Then does part, the activity, the object whichever you have identified, no, what activity it will do. That part you have to write the next, that is the does part. This is how we have to write. A blueprint is ready, it's a plan. Now, if you want to give a life to it, maybe I want this part of the code, whatever activity I have defined inside the study, if I want that to be executed, first you have to give a life to this class. You have to give a life to this blueprint. How to give a life, in sense, how to create an object. We have to first create the object by using the keyword called as new. Create the object for this student, and to this object I'll give the name, whatever name you want you can give. I'll give it as yes. It is of what type? Student type. We have to create the object. After giving the name, I'll use this name I'll say please go inside this and call this activity, call this method called as student. If you call it, then control would go here and whatever activity we have inside this, that will be executed. I am telling fundamentally the approach. If there is a real world scenario, how we can write the program for it. Now, what is method? We are not discussing in this video. What is variable? What is data type? Separately we'll discuss. How to create the objects? We will discuss. What happens in the memory behind the scene? We will discuss. Right now, if we are following object oriented programming language, if we have any real world scenario in front of us, how easily we can convert that to the program. The next discussion is we have to discuss this hash part in our classes, variables, data types, operators and all. Once we are done with this, we shall discuss about the does part. The second discussion, serious discussion, in detail discussion, how to write method, all the possible syntaxes we have to discuss, and what happens behind the scene in the memory also we may have to understand with respect to how to write the method and what happens behind the scene. Right now, just conversion. What is the style I want to teach, not the programming. We will understand this separately. We'll understand this part separately, and also we'll understand object creation part separately. Just to summarize the discussion of whatever we have done so far, I would like to say, first we have to identify the object, any object in that matter. Maybe I have identified, I want to write a program about the dog. Dog is the object I have identified. Then I'll say here, dog has the color, dog has the age, right? So and so. All the activities which dog does, dog usually barks, dog usually maybe you can say runs, whatever activity dog carry out every day, right? You have to write that. And for which, how to write the program in Java or any object oriented programming language. Write a class for this. I will write class dog. Class dog. After writing this, hash part is the first part you have to write. Maybe I'll say here color and age. Okay, don't worry about the type of data, what is string, what is integer. We will talk not on the syntax, conversion part. Hash part is over. Now, what all activity dog does? I will say here void barks. That means activities you have to write using the method. How to write method? Again, I have told, we will discuss going forward. Activities, does part. This is how we have to write the program. Very easy. Then we have to create the object of this class. I'll say here new dog. And then I'll give the name to it. D is of what type? Dog type. And if I want anything to execute, this method, some activity I have written, I want that to be executing. I'll take the name of this object, D. Go inside this. Whatever activity is there by the name dog method, please execute. Then all the activities inside that will be executed. So if you follow object-oriented programming language, any real world scenario, easily you can convert to program. That message I want to show. It follows the syntax of class and object. Fine. I hope you could able to understand fundamentally. Going forward, let's understand what is variable, what is data type, why semicolon, why string, what is that int, why may have to write void here, what is this brackets, everything syntax wise we will understand going forward. Fundamentally, object-oriented programming language means writing class and object. Easily you can convert the real world scenario into the program. If you have understood this fundamentally, it is more than sufficient. One by one, as I have already told, we will understand first this part, hash part, then how to write this, and overall picture how object-oriented programming language works. We will try to understand. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Please stay tuned for the upcoming videos where we will understand Java in depth.